Well, now we're still in the depths of winter, and it's pretty cool out here. But as I've said many times before, I don't do seasons. So it's just a little local ride. I gotta go and pick a few bits and pieces up, and I can't see a damn thing because the sun's in my face. And of course the roads are messy because 1 minute it's dry, next minute it's soaking wet or damp, and they salt the roads, so the salt seems to draw all the crud and the crap out of the road. But today's not too bad. It's chilly, the ground is somewhere between slightly damp and dry. I can live with that. Means the bike's not getting covered in crap. It means I'm not getting covered in crap. It means I can slice by traffic on roundabouts when I'm in the wrong lane, a bit like I just did then. So this is purely today, this is just a maintain my sanity kind of a ride. I have got a few bits and pieces to pick up, but kind of stuff that will go in my pockets, and I can do that later on. So I'm just going to do a little sort of local lap. And that probably means I'll end up at Dragon Soul for a hot beverage to warm my cockles. We'll see. I'm not that far away from it now, so I probably will go up there. It's warm and welcoming, so it's a good daytime place to stop locally for me. And if you happen to be passing, it's a good place to stop for anyone for a hot drink and a slice of cake. Nothing new, nothing's happened apart from routine maintenance on both bikes. Just check and lubricate the chain, tyre pressures, that sort of thing. I've not done anything other than that on either bike. I did take the CCM out the other day, just very locally, and I missed. It hasn't got heated handlebar grips like this bike, and you're kind of perched up there, up high, unprotected. I mean, I'm unprotected on this thing, but I don't know, it just felt colder on the CCM. So I'm kind of favouring this bike a bit more this time of year. It's got a couple of creature comforts. I mean, it is easier to ride because it's engine managed and fuel injection and all that. Carburettor bikes take a little bit more, I don't think skill's the word, but you've got to think about what you're doing, particularly when they're cold. Whereas this, it's just point and squirt really, and it's got heated grips, of course. Make all the difference. And if you own a Triumph, it's definitely worth looking at the Triumph's own heated grips, because they don't really stick out like a sore thumb. They look like stock standard grips, except they're heated. Little small button down there by my left thumb. You have the option of switch it off, low or high. And they do work very well. I mean, I've had things like Oxford heated grips, and there are numerous other heated grips on numerous other bikes in the past. And the factory ones on the whole that I've had, and I'm just trying to remember which factory heated grips I have had. I've had Honda heated grips on a Honda. I'm struggling now to remember. But anyway, I've had aftermarket heated grips which work great. But you get a bloody big control unit that you've got to find a home for. Like a switch unit to switch them on and high and low and all the rest of it. Not always easy to tuck away and hide away. Right, I got room here. Yeah, not always always easy to hide away and tuck away the controls on the aftermarket heated grips, although they do work well. But I've obviously gone soft in my old age, because right at the moment I've got my heavier winter gloves on and I've got warm hands. Now I've got no bark busters or the handlebar muffs or anything. I mean, there are numerous products you can get which will keep the wind off your hands, which help a heck of a lot. I've got none of that, so the cold air is hitting my hands direct, and I mean, they could probably be warmer, but I certainly don't have cold hands. So anyway, you're going to need to wait until the kind of the spring months, until you start getting regular films of me riding the CCM. But I've had that bike quite a long time. I mean, it was a bike I needed to own, so I have no plans to get shot of that anytime soon. I have no plans to get shot of this, to be honest with you, anytime soon. So I keep my eye on bikes. I'm kind of half looking for a project at the moment. Problem is, I don't know what. I haven't got my eye on something specific, just on the idea that something I could fiddle with and fettle and get to work. You know, I don't really want to restore anything. When you go down that road, it starts costing an awful lot of money, so I don't want to restore an older bike to original and concourse condition, because that can be very difficult, because sometimes you just can't get the bits, and it can also be very expensive. So I was actually looking at an old 70s or late 1970s Yamaha RD400, and it was actually in decent, it ran, and it was in decent condition. The paint had faded a little bit, the chrome was dull but not rusty, and I thought you could make that into a usable bike, but it would look like a slightly less shiny version of an immaculate one, because you would want to keep all the original bits on it, because it had all the original bits on it. Well, I'm not too worried about that. I would have been quite happy if the exhaust had been rotten on it. You know, and you could change the exhaust. You can still get expansion chambers and the like for them. So kind of resto mod, I'd go with that, but rather than a restoration. But I'm not seriously looking. I've just got half an eye open. Something might come up. Something might come up that I like the idea of. I must admit, I do quite like the idea of a two-stroke. I started off on two-strokes. I raced two-stroke motocross bikes. I started off on the road on two-strokes. And of course nowadays, I suppose because of emissions, there are two-strokes out there, but not many. But they're certainly not illegal in the UK, so they're just rare. But we'll see if anything that came up that I like the look of. And was the right kind of money. I'd definitely have a go at it. When you've been riding bikes all of your adult life, well, before I was an adult really, And you've had a good selection of bikes over the years. I've got to the stage now where I'm kind of going to relive something. I want to go and get something that's either the same or very similar to what I've had before. And I'm casting my mind back. There's quite a few bikes. I mean, I'd need a disused barn to keep them all in if I had the time. I'd probably have pretty much every bike that I have owned in the past. I'd have it again.